Hi Sandy, how you doing? So this is looking awesome. I'm wondering. I was looking at when this was loading up. It looked like there was um, a watermark of your logo here, and maybe because I'm not seeing it here, so I'm probably just seeing things. When that was loading up, I saw it. Okay, let's get to the presentation. Really good opening page. Objectivity here is really good, and that's important because that's going to be looked for. This. I've noticed in your background pages, everything is really super consistent. Two things I recommend moving forward is to fit well, three things actually. Use this color as the same color as that, as the same presentation as that. I think that'll tie a really nice connection, meaning that you can just come right down there, take that margin, boom, and start your text right there, or bring it over here, depending on how it looks and how you feel about it. Present that type, I would say you're not using any sans serif at all in your background page, so you might consider that as an option. This little tiny rule right here, it's actually confining the work. You're actually kind of pushing it up and kind of confining it and restricting it or prohibiting it from and this interaction with the whole page and this interaction with this whole area. It just stops right here. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of times boxes do that when you're trying to um, show your work. Here it is again right here. See how it's kind of pushing your work up here and trying to force it and squish it in between here and here. And if you take that out, move that down, and lighten that up a little bit, this page is just going to pop with this breathing room. That right now it just kind of feels like it's getting pushed together. See, this is pushing down, this is pushing up. The work itself looks wonderful. The pages are wonderfully consistent. I think this is just so smart that the viewer can find the associated verbiage for each piece on the same location, in the same location on every page. I think that your size and your relationships are really good as far as how big the piece is in relationship to the page, in relationship to the logo, in relationship to the title. I think those are all fitting together very nicely for a nice, comfortable visual presentation. Here's one of those boxes again. Do you need that? I mean, I think that the background is close enough. I'm sorry, there's enough of a demarcation of the background that you don't need that rule. My general rule of thumb is that if you are going to use a completely white background on a white, if you're going to present a piece that has a white background on a background page that is white, place a very thin 1 pixel hairline stroke, a black hairline stroke around the piece so you can just see where the margins of the file end and the page begins, so to speak. Okay, thumbnails look awesome. Now this page is a little bit different in that the thumbnails are really tiny in relationship to the rest of the page. So I wouldn't mind seeing these enlarged a little bit. After all, they're really great thumbnails. Awesome, nice sketches. This is going to go so far. This is great how you show the transition from your sketches to digital. That's really smart. Your color studies are good, but again, here's these boxes again. Let's get rid of those boxes and let these things just have a relationship with one another and with the page as opposed to getting confined within these boxes. That page looks good. I think, I recommended going to a 2-column grid on the first page because this is just too long of a type line right there. There's probably over 100 characters, including spaces and punctuation. You want to keep that below 60 max. So that would right there would call for a 2-column type grid. This piece, I like this piece a lot. We talked about this. I enjoyed this piece. I think it's very good. Good. So if you need to go back and refresh those comments from that piece, go right ahead back to that week. Otherwise, again, we got these boxes here again, right into work this time. So I'm wondering how this menu would look if we open it up a little bit and maybe didn't compartmentalize so much. Food for thought. Looks great. Nice product shots there. Really good job. Nice. Very nice. Outstanding. I love it. Good job. Is that still a low-res image? I think it might be. So you want to check that. Don't let that get out in your portfolio when you go on interviews. No low-res images. That's not good. And then everything else I think looks awesome. This corporate identity looks really good. And the web pages are presented beautifully. Love this. Now watch what happens though. Something's going to happen very strange in 1 second right now. Now. Oh, it didn't. This thing seems to randomly go off. This I think it's Barbara Streisand. It sometimes I open it and as I scroll by the page, it just starts itself. So it didn't do it this time. So I guess it's just a glitch on my end. These are good. Good job assembling these according to. That's a really good product shot there. Right. What I would do here is take this into Photoshop, mask out the product, and really lighten up that background because the background looks really yellow. Kind of makes it look a little bit like of a dingy haze on the images. So let's pop that white out of there, right? And that image will really pop off the page wonderfully. Now this piece, I was recommending using that alternative that, it's really hot right now and it's trendy. And if you don't want to do it, I understand. But that presentation where, it actually looks like a shiny, glitzy, glossy page magazine when you render your. So, I mean, it is trendy. I'll give you that, definitely. If that's why you're avoiding it, I totally agree. But it is worth at least examining the technique. It's a cool technique. It might come in handy one day. Wow, these are gorgeous. I think I still have a bruise on my jaw from when it hit the ground when I started looking at your electives. Just absolutely gorgeous stuff here. Really, really cool. And again, showing a wonderful variety in your skill set. So I good perspective. Just lovely, lovely stuff. Thank you for viewing my portfolio. That's very smart thing to do right there. I suggest doing one more thing, and it's really important. And you need to add a credits page for all of your images and everything on here that's not your original work. It's pretty important, and it will be expected in a portfolio. It could stop a portfolio presentation dead in its tracks when you get to the end and you go, and you're finally going, oh, wow, that went good. And the interviewer looks at you and says, where are your citations? You start getting all sweaty. And I know because that happened to me many, 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 many years ago. And that's how I learned. And that's probably why I'm so hard on citations. So as it were, outstanding job, Sandy. I loved having you in class. Hang on to my contact information. So if you need me in the future, I'm here. So keep that in mind. Okay, awesome job. Thanks again.